Hey, how's it going, guys? This is going to be a bit of a topic that's going to be a little bit hard for me to talk about, but I am going to do the best that I can. And as you've probably read from the title, this is definitely something that is most likely going to affect one of my channels in the near future, given the current direction where this is going. To the point where it may kill a lot of motivation for that channel. And no, I'm not talking the Lost Pause channel, but the Lost Pause 2 channel. If you guys don't know, I run a Lost Pause 2 channel that hosts Dungeons and Dragons on it, specifically Pokemon Dungeons and Dragons on it. If you guys are aware of the situation out here, Wizards of the Coast, the makers of Dungeons and Dragons, are updating their open game license, aka their OGL, to the point where they want to have a hostile takeover of what was once a free hobby for people to enjoy, make up their content, and do all that stuff, to basically say, this is all mine! Mine! Hilariously enough, like the big bad evil guy of a campaign. And if you've been anywhere on the internet involving D&D or anything like that, you could say that this is an extremely hot topic as it's trending on Twitter all the time. Lots of big names are talking about it. And I honestly need to talk about it too because it really does directly affect me. If you want a brief rundown about what's going on here, Hasbro has been losing a bunch of money. They happen to own Wizards of the Coast. Wizards of the Coast has a really popular thing called Dungeons and Dragons. One of the most popular things that they own, hot topics, lots of money's been made off it. It's the big cash cow. But they were like,
I want to make more money.
So, looking at us as basically walking piggy banks, they want to come in, rob our pockets, steal all of our brains out too, and just take as much as they possibly can because they just want more money. Really is no good way to put that. In fact, there's been leaks from the company themselves, which is how we even got a wind of them even trying to change the open game license in the first place, stating that they just look at us as obstacles for money. Not the best look, I'm just gonna put that out there. So thankfully, due to the leaks and other things like that, I can't really publish anything because legality reasons, because they are indeed leaks. I will sum up what they wanted to do. Number one, change it so that everything from here on forth and here on out and in the previous iterations, you would have to report to them specifically about your revenue. And if you made over a certain threshold, guess what? You're paying them. Number two, anything that you did make, they would have free reign to take that idea and then sell it themselves. Number three, any past iterations that did actually permit you in this open game license to do anything, well, that doesn't matter anymore. You would have to comply, otherwise they will just take everything from you regardless. They were apparently giving creators like a 10-day notice to sign this bully notice that they were sending out. Otherwise, they were screwed. Thankfully, a lot of people stood up for this, brave souls out there saying, hey, this isn't right, and put it on Twitter where everyone could see it. And, you know, a big movement was made to hashtag OpenD&D. They were pretty upset, and arguably they should be, because in the now deleted open game license, thankfully, I still have it, and I'm able to quote from it, and I'll give you the big bits here that are good. You look at the number 4 clause, granted consideration. In considering for agreeing to this license, the contributors grant you perpetual, worldwide, royalty-free, non-exclusive license with the exact terms of the license to use the open game content. Basically saying, you're free to make whatever you want, it's yours, and you can make money off of it. Fantastic. And number 9, this is the kind of catch here is what they're trying to do. Wizards or its designated agents may publish updated versions of this license. You may use any authorized version of this license to copy, modify, and distribute any open game content originally distributed under any version of this license. That's kind of the thing that they're trying to do. They're trying to manipulate it here. But the clause also stated that, you know, you're free to use any copy, meaning the original 1.0, which most people are still using till this day, where they're free to do whatever they want. So Wizards of the Coast was trying to illegally, and I do say illegally, change it so no matter what you did, they can still own it. even though in the past it was perfectly okay and you were well within your right. You know, that whole ex post facto thing in the Constitution? You know, they were basically trying to go against that. Ex post facto, meaning that you are not allowed to change any law. So, you know, things that you were doing in the past, you would be in trouble for. So, like, them just deleting this whole section right here was pretty freaking bad. And not a good look. You know, it's very worrisome, especially with all the controversy. They were staying very silent until just a day ago, where they did release this statement, pretty much confirming that they were trying to do something bad. The first sentence here being, when we initially conceived of revising the OGL, it was with 3 major goals in mind. That first sentence right there, yeah, they were trying to do something not so good, especially when there was absolutely nothing wrong with the Open Games license to begin with. Now, they got a bunch of words here. I'm not going to read the entire thing, but I will, of course, link it below in the description if you want to go through everything here. But I'll try to get the highlights. One of the things they said, that is why our early drafts of the new OGL included the provisions that they did. And that's just a blatant lie because, you know, they were forced to sign things on there. And there is no such thing as drafts that require signatures. And usually they have big drafts that go over everything, saying that it's a draft and making sure that it is a draft. You know how things work. They were caught with their pants down. And it says, our drafts included royalty language designed to apply to large corporations attempting to use OGL content. It was never our intent to impact the vast majority of the community, and that is complete bullcrap. No, they wanted to control the entire community. They wanted everything from everyone. Since D&D is basically a game that is designed around the players and them creating up the universe, a lot of people have done some amazing things, made up some great like campaigns, some great books, some just great, amazing original content. And of course, that they should absolutely have every right to profit from because they spent a lot of time, money, and effort to make something and to better a game that was made just for people to have fun with. Dungeons & Dragons is only good because people were able to do whatever they wanted with it. Not because the game itself was perfect. Far from. There's still lots of things that I think could be better in Dungeons & Dragons till this day, and I've only been playing for roughly like 3 years now. And this next sentence is just so tone deaf. However, it is clear from our reaction that we rolled a nat 1. It has become clear that it is no longer possible to fully achieve all 3 goals while still staying true to our principles. So here's what we're doing. You know, it's not just rolling a nat 1 that you did there. You really tried to play it off as you rolled a 1 and then you try to say, no, this is actually 20. We're really cool, guys. No, I'm lying. I'm sorry. I'm not really sorry. Please, let me just do this. The next OGL will contain the provisions that allow us to protect and cultivate the inclusive environments we're trying to build that specify that it covers only content for TTRPGs. That means other expressions such as education, charitable campaigns, live streams, cosplay, VTT users, etc. will remain unaffected by any of the OGL updates. Content already released under 1.0 will remain unaffected. The main thing there is the final bit, saying like, okay, yeah, we can't change 1.0 because that would be illegal. We tried to, but we can't. We're backing off. And basically this next huge paragraph is them trying to say, yo, okay, so we're gonna try and word it maybe better so it doesn't look like we're trying to steal what, you know, you were doing before. Whoops. That thought was totally never on our minds when we wrote it down with a bunch of lawyers all around us and a bunch of professionals. Yeah, sure. And honestly, this next paragraph is the worst thing that I think I've seen here, just by a landslide. A couple of last thoughts. First, we won't be able to release the new OGL today because we need to make sure we get it right. But it is coming. Isn't that like a freaking ominous sentence right there already? Like the final boss is coming. Like you have to prepare. You have to like get your party together and try and fight this thing. Get your paladin, get your fighter, get the mage, get the cleric. We're gonna fight this thing that's coming. Second, you're gonna hear people say that they won and that we lost because making your voices heard forced us to change our plans. those people will only be half right. They won, and so did we. No. In fact, nobody has won, and especially not you, considering that you lost a considerable market share and also a lot of subscriptions to D&D Beyond. You are just going into huge damage control right now, especially since you probably already lost millions, if not billions, in the players' trust by doing such an underhanded tactic. Honestly, they're trying to think like the fight is over now. No, they're literally stating they're still trying to change it. They're not backing down whatsoever. It honestly is so disgusting that they're doing this because, again, Dungeons & Dragons was made up by players. It's made up by our ideas, our creativity, all of that imagination, all boiling together into making this great, wonderful game that cannot be mimicked or mirrored really anywhere else. Unless, of course, you go to Pathfinder and other things like that now, which are now considerable options. But again, they're really trying to take a big fat turd on a community that built them up from the ground, using their own ideas, imaginations, and sparks and influences to really push and propel what D&D is today. Especially like at the face, Critical Role, Matt Mercer, who started on Pathfinder, mind you. Like, he pushed Dungeons & Dragons to the forefront, making it not just a niche hobby anymore, but something cool and really amazing. Although what affected me was actually Rustage, who made me join One Piece Dungeons & Dragons, and that was great. And so what this actually means for Lost Paws 2 is that they could go, hey, Noble, those are some amazing, like, monster designs that you got there. Maybe we can't just take those Pokemon names or anything like that, but we could take your ideas and, you know, concepts behind every single homebrew monster, because every monster that I do in that is completely homebrewed and made up by me, except, of course, the Pokemon image that's going over it. It takes me quite a while, quite the effort to do all of that. Granted, I don't really make that much money. In fact, most of my money, if not almost all of it, goes to just paying the artist to make the fun D&D images that go over everything right there. That's really where all of that goes. I do it for fun. I put it up there because it's fun. But they could just go, hey, you're gonna have to stop that now, and all that money, that's going to us now, and put me even a bigger hole. I don't really trust them anymore. I can't really trust someone that's actively trying to screw over the community that built them up. And they're still trying to do it. I honestly don't know why they're trying to change something that isn't broken. Imagine they have like a fountain of infinite gold that's spewing out, and now they're trying to dig and destroy the beautiful fountain to see if there's an even bigger well underneath it. Well, you might find a bit of a pit as you dig down in there, but they ain't gonna be spewing out much gold if they keep up this. I really am just angry. I was just really getting into the hobby. I was enjoying this, and this really upset me. I am no lawyer. I'm just going to admit, I don't have all of the legalities of what all they can do out here, of what they can do, and I'm not even going to pretend that I know everything. But I do know that it doesn't seem quite right what they're doing. And as many actual lawyers have pointed out on Twitter, well, it seems that they are pretty much doing illegal crap, which is why they had to back off the draft in the first place. This company is in the biggest nosedive that I've ever seen. It upsets me because I used to go to Wizards of the Coast for Pokemon cards and to go in the back with all my homies and maybe play some Counter-Strike behind there. It had fond memories for me, and it got even fonder when it had Dungeons & Dragons, and now, man, they really took a crap all over their brand image, didn't they? Absolutely upset and angry and furious. And I would like you guys to voice your opinions on there with, you know, D&D be gone out there, hashtag open D&D, put all that stuff, because there's tons of great memes out there that people are posting and covering right now. Some really hilarious things. I just had to talk about this because it does directly affect me, and it makes me pissed off. So go ahead and leave your thoughts and opinions below here, and go contribute however you guys want to do, or, you know, just maybe share this video with your friends and tell them all about it. That also helps. I really got nothing else to say here, so thanks guys, and yeah, pray for Lost Paws too, I guess.